Hi there.
Teachers, welcome to your one restorative pose. These sessions are set up for me to just break down one restorative pose for you and allow you to relax for a shorter period of time, but more importantly, you're able to relax. So the pose I'm going to show you today is reclined side angle pose. So Supta Pārśvakoṇāsana. So it's the standing side angle pose. If you're familiar with yoga, you'll recognize the pose, but we're going to do a nice reclined version because it opens the side body. So a little bit about restorative if you're not familiar. Restorative yoga allows the nervous system to move from what's called fight or flight into the relaxation mode. So from fight or flight, which is sympathetic nervous system, moving into relaxation mode, which is the parasympathetic. And it takes roughly about 15 minutes to move from one to the other. So the restorative poses are held for longer, and that just allows the body to relax. And I think right now, where we are with this virus pandemic, it's really important to take time for yourself to relax. So that's why I decided to do shorter videos for restorative, to allow the nervous system to just have that small burst of relaxation. It's important to make time in your day. So you might want to put me on pause because I need you to go off and make sure that you have got all these props that we need for this one pose that I'm going to show you today. And that pose, so the props you need are 2 blankets or 2 towels, and one of the blankets you're going to spread wide over the mat. I'll show you that in a second. One of the most important props for restorative yoga is a bolster. So I would recommend that you can get one as a gift if there's any opportunities coming up for you to receive a gift. Ask for a bolster. If not, and you don't have one, you can make one. So it's all about improvisation at the moment. So to try to come up with something that looks like this, it's a firm, long cushion. You could use a firm pillow, roll it inside of a towel or a blanket, or if you've got 2 big firm blankets or beach towels, bath towels, roll those together to create something that's as near to this as possible. Okay, so that's our bolster. And then you'll need foam blocks or books. So a paperback book could be instead of the cork brick. So we're going to use a cork brick. And then 2 or 3 foam blocks if you have them, or hardback books, and ideally as similar in height and size as is possible so you create this sort of shape. Okay, so put me on pause, go and grab all that, and then I will show you how we're going to get into the reclined side angle pose, Supta Pārśvakoṇāsana. So you put the foam blocks or your body as well as being able to relax. So the last thing you should go and get is a scarf or a shawl of some type that you can just fold to place over the brick. Okay, so let's get started and I'll show you how we're going to get into this beautiful side open pose. So just going to put on a little bit more light TV. Okay, I think that's better. So what we'll need to do is you open your blanket as I explained, down, your hands remain on the blanket. And it's also just nice to have a layer of comfort, because it's all about relaxation and comfort in the restorative. So to have an extra layer of warmth under you is actually quite comforting. Always make sure that the room is a nice ambient temperature. It's not too cold. Obviously, I'm doing this one during the day, but if you can, I needed the light so you can see me, but ideally if you can do, and it allows us to really relax and ground. Take your second blanket, and from this shape, so you're rolling it to fat sushi roll, and you place that roll, that's going to go under your ribs. So not your arm, then you put your paperback book or your brick here, that's going to be for your ear, but put something over it to soften it, your scarf, and then your rolled blanket, there's another gap here. Place the bolster to your left behind you. So we're going to come to lay on the right to start off with. Have the bolster over on the left hand side at an angle away from you. You will see why in a moment. So come to laying on your side and stack your feet. So stack the ankles, stack the knees, hips are going to be stacked, and this blanket is under our ribs. Your shoulder is going to go in between the gap of the blanket and the brick. So lay on, the blanket is under your ribs. And then once you're feeling stacked, just take a few moments here, just lying on the side, connecting to your breath, noticing that small pause between the inhale and exhale. So everything's nice and slow when we're in the restorative. There's no rush. You try to keep the movement small, slow, and grounded. Notice not to disturb yourself because you're trying to relax. You're having some time for you. Self-care. Self-care is not selfish. It's vital at all times, but especially now. So what we do from here, inhaling, extend that left leg back on top of the bolster. So the bolster is directly under the knee, supporting the whole knee, shin, and foot. So your foot should not be dangling off. It should be fully supported by the bolster, but keep the hips stacked. So bring the hips forward, keeping the hips stacked. And ensure that both feet are engaged. So you keep this knee bent because you're in the standing side angle, you're in the laying down version of the extended side angle pose. So if you think about if you were standing up in the class, left leg would be straight, really rooted into the ground, and the right leg would be bent knee over ankle. Then from here, inhale up the left arm towards the ceiling. Turn the palm away from you. So you get an opening in the shoulder. And then you reach that arm over your ear. So we're now moving into full expression of the pose. And actually, I should have said, you can take the glasses off for restorative if you wear them. So you would from here inhale the arms up overhead and reach through to the bricks, the phone box, or your textbooks, whatever you have used to get that opening in the side body. And you should feel a really nice stretch right through from the left heel right up through your left fingertips, and feel a beautiful opening in your side body. Try not to roll back. The tendency is you're rolling back too much. What you can do is bring your books or your phones level just above you, just above your eye line, and you can have them here. So you can bend the forearm and have the forearm supported like that. If it feels too much to have it over the head. But you need to decide what feels right for you. Just have a play with it. And once you've decided which side feels, or which arm position feels right, you stay there. And you stay there and you close your eyes. You connect back to the breath. And you try to look for that tiny pause between the inhale and the exhale. You imagine that the inhale is going down towards the heart and out through the crown of your head. It's a breath pattern I teach in all my classes because I think it's so very simple but so effective to help us keep connected to our breath. Because that is the beauty of yoga, breath and body moving together in unison. So just settle into Supta Pārśvakoṇāsana, reclined side angle pose. So keep the extension through the left leg whilst it's supported on the bolster. And just breathe into the side body, feel that beautiful opening to the side body. Connecting to the breath, noticing the sound of the tambura, and just settling into the practice, having some time for you to relax and enjoy. So keep connected to the breath, staying in the pose, just enjoying the opening to the side body, enjoying the movement of the breath into the side body, and just noticing how you're feeling, where the breath is. Inhaling. So with the restorative classes, you don't often hear a lot from the teacher because it is about you tuning in to relax. It's about you having time to reconnect yourself and just let the body rest, let the body. And it's absolutely fine just to take some time out and rest here and have time for you between Shakti and Lord Shiva. Sacred texts sing of my reality, but I cannot be found in them, for I am the one listening. I am always closer than the breath. Heat and fire are not two separate things. These are just verbal distinctions. The goddess and the one who holds her are one and same. We are inseparable. The way to me is through her. Inhaling to the heart and exhaling, bring it down and over to just in front of your forehead. You can adjust the height of the blocks at any time. It's all about feeling comfortable, and it's an individual practice. So when we do go back into the studios, whenever that time will come, for they need to, because they need to. It's really not of our concern of the matters. It's just your own individual practice. So connect back to your breath. I have a few more minutes on this side, and then of course we need to change sides. Inhaling to the heart and exhaling to the crown. Noticing where the breath is in the side body. We don't often get this beautiful opening to the side body. So just enjoy the nourishment of the breath in the side body. Slowly start to deepen your breathing. And now you're bringing your arm back down to your side. So the left arm back down to the side, front. So you're just as we started, laying on your side, knees stacked, shin stacked, feet stacked, and the arms are stacked. And from here, very slowly, keeping the movement soft and slow, you're going to push yourself to upright, head coming up last. And just pause for a moment while you get ready to do the second side. So as before, you're going to have your bricks at the top or to the side, whichever you decided. Leave the brick in the same place, because all you're doing is just going to turn to face the left. And then have your left arm through the gap now, laying on your left side. You're having your knees stacked. You'd also move your bolster over, on the second side. So you're sitting on the side, blanket's going to be back under your ribs. Thread the left arm through the gap. Come to laying on your side. Sure the blanket's under the ribs. Brick is under the left ear now. Hip stacked, knee stacked, shin stacked, ankle stacked. Arms extended on top of one another. And then in right arm, turn the palm away from you. And then reaching over, arm over ear, onto the brick. Full shin and foot is supported by the bolster, not dangling off in any way. If you need to, you might have to come down and angle it appropriately. Just reconnect yourself. And keeping the breath going on this side. Noticing how it feels now you're on the second side. All slightly taller, shorter, longer on one side than the other. So it may feel different on this side. Just notice that, but breathe into it. Just settle back into the pose. Noticing, does the extension feel as open on this side? Does it feel tighter? What are you noticing on this side compared to the other? Last minutes. Anything that's a twist, so if I tell you, you come to a seat session where there is a twisting, well, we don't hold the twist as long, but this is an actual just side opening, so you can hold it for longer, but twists are no more than 6 minutes on each side. It's because of the twisting on the spine. But the opening on the side is absolutely fine. So please settle into this side, noticing. I am every into the world beyond separation. The light of a candle reveals a room. The rays of the sun reveal the world. So does the divine feminine illuminate the way to me. Keep that connection to the breath as you lay in the recline. Keeping connected to your breath, trying to stay present to the practice and switching off anything that's going on. Once again, if it feels too much to have the arm extended over the head, the thumbs, see if that feels more open on the shoulder, or you can move the grips over just level with your forehead, so you'll never lay in pain in the process. Always comfort to allow the relaxation. We'll be a few more minutes here on this side of the meditation at the end of the class. We'll take the Shavasana for a few minutes. You're welcome to stay longer as I start to close. Always take the Shavasana at the end of your yoga practice. Then extend it out long to meet the left arm. Bring your right leg back to meet the left. So stack the knees as we started. So the hips are stacked, knees stacked, shins stacked. And just lay there, Asana. So very carefully, just roll up, push your palm to help you come to upright. So use your right arm to push yourself to come to upright the way. Unroll your blanket and make it into a nice neat square. Keep the movements as small and slow as you can so as not to undo your work. So if you want the bolster behind the knees, directly behind the knees, or you can place the bolster on the top of the shins and have the zip away from you so it doesn't start to dig into you. So the zip of a bolster should always be away. But if you've made a lovely improvised one, you won't have the zip. You just pull out to the side, lengthen your tailbone down to the ground, lengthen your chin to the chest, have your arms slightly away from the body, palms facing up. Or what's quite nice is you can roll your forearms down and have the thumbs sticking up. It just allows, and you just surrender into your Shavasana. Releasing the breath pattern, just normal breath now. And just have a few moments in Shavasana before we close our one restorative pose sequence today. Not sequence, just one pose. Reclined side angle pose. Should you wish to stay in Shavasana for longer, please do so. Otherwise, join me in starting to come to the end of the practice. So deepening your breathing. Very gently remove the bolster from your thighs if you had it there. And then gently circle the ankles, circle the wrist, and then inhale the arms overhead, creating full body stretch. And then inhaling, draw the knees to the chest. Give yourself a really nice hug. Wrap your arms around your shins and just very gently rock from side to side. And then watching out for your props, roll to the right hand side and use your left arm, extend the right arm long, lay your head on your right arm for a couple of breaths. And then using your left arm as a lead, push yourself to upright and come to seated up on block, bolster or a blanket, sitting up nice and tall, or shoulders down the back, palms facing up or down on the thighs, whichever feels right for you. And just close your eyes and connect to your breath. And just check in with how you're feeling after restorative pose. Inhaling, bringing your palms to heart center. Exhale, bowing your head to your hands in gratitude for being able to access your yoga practice during this time. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Release the palms, open the eyes, raise the gaze. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with us today. We wish you well.